Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers Virtual College Fair. I'd like to thank you all for joining us here today. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we do get started. There's a Q&A button located at the bottom of your screen, which you can use to ask questions to our presenters at any time. If you do have a question for a specific institution, be sure to mention them within your question. Your camera microphone are turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you, and this presentation is also being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same site where you registered. Now, without further ado, I'll turn it over to our first institution, which is UNC at Chapel Hill.
Great, thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, so hi everyone. My name is Carla Salas. I work with the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So lovely to be here. Excited to talk to you all today. UNC Chapel Hill is the nation's first public institution. And this identity of being the nation's first public drives everything, from our mission to our values, to the types of students that we recruit and that we bring into our institution, as well as the foundation of our curriculum and our majors and things like that. So I always like to start off talking about our most popular career interests to kind of show the diversity and the perspectives of the different ideas that our students like to bring in. So we are a Research One liberal arts institution, but we focus kind of on a well-rounded education for all of our students. So we encourage students to kind of explore beyond just one discipline and move forward, because we believe that can create better leaders in the world beyond just their time at Carolina. As you can see from our top career interests, it ranges from physician and business executive, which are very kind of clear-cut career paths, to undecided for students that kind of have no idea and want to figure it out. Transfer students have the ability to apply directly into a major if they're interested in one of the professional schools, or apply into our College of Arts and Sciences if they're interested in the more kind of general education. And the majority of our majors are within the College of Arts and Sciences. There's only a handful that require that application directly into one of the professional schools themselves. When it comes to filling out the application itself, the application is going to open up in August of every year, and I'll go through the deadlines in the next slide. But there are different components when it comes to applying to Carolina. So students will submit the application itself through the Common App. And like I said, if you're applying as a junior, you can apply directly into one of those professional schools or stay within the College of Arts and Sciences. Sophomores only have the option of applying within the College of Arts and Sciences and going from there. North Carolina residents have to do that residency application if they want to be considered for it. We accept fee waivers, but we require that extra kind of step for students to be qualified for it if they qualify for financial aid at their current institution. Extracurricular activities, we'll also accept that list through the Common Application. And then we have a couple essays for students to write for Carolina, as well as through the Common App and through that. And all of these parts of the application we do read. So we do a completely holistic approach when it comes to our admissions review. And that goes back to our identity of being a public institution. So we want to look for students that are going to strengthen the Carolina community, that are going to bring kind of their best. Academically, they're doing well, they're solid students academically, but they're also contributing to other parts of the community in different ways. In addition to that, we also ask that students submit a letter of recommendation. We only require one for the College of Arts and Sciences, and the majority of our professional schools only require one. There are a few that may require a couple more, so definitely feel free to do your research or ask questions in the chat afterwards if you want to learn more about the professional schools that may require kind of different criteria when it comes to it. And then we also require transcripts from all the different schools that you've attended, and this includes your high school transcript as well. Even if you're applying as a transfer student, we're still going to need that high school transcript as well as any other institution from there. Testing isn't on here, so normally sophomore transfers would be required to send in a test score. Because of the pandemic, we were given a one-year waiver this year. Every school in the UNC system was. We don't quite yet know what that's going to look like next year. We're still waiting kind of on a final decision on whether or not we're going to require test scores from our first year and sophomore applicants for the fall of 2022. The transfer deadlines, if you're interested in applying, so the application itself will open up in August. And as a transfer student, you only have one deadline to keep track of. That's February 15th. That deadline isn't binding. You'll receive your decision typically by mid to late April, and you have until May 15th to make your decision from there. We'll also be able to provide you with a transfer credit evaluation if you're admitted into the university, so you can have a better idea of how your credits are going to transfer and what your trajectory would look like afterwards. We also encourage students to complete both the FAFSA and the CSS profile, and I'll talk a little bit about financial aid from there in the next slide when it comes to being considered for financial aid. So for financial aid, like I said, I just mentioned the FAFSA and the CSS profile. Both of those are going to open up in October, and they have the March 1st priority deadline. If you've applied for financial aid before, we'll ask you to complete that again. The CSS profile sometimes throws some students off because we're one of the few institutions that require it, but it's just going to allow us to do a deeper dive into students' finances to make sure that we provide students with the best financial aid package available. Unfortunately, we don't offer merit-based scholarships for any of our transfer students, but we will give full need consideration for any of our students that apply. And we do read applications need blind, meaning that we don't take your ability to pay when making an admissions decision. I always encourage students to do their research when it comes to financial aid. Look around, look through our website. Our scholarships and student website has a great resource that has a chat box that you can ask questions and things of that nature when it comes to making an admissions decision, when it comes to deciding where you want to go beyond this. And that's the bulk of the presentation. Like I said, I will be available for questions at the end or throughout the rest of the presentation, so feel free to ask, but also take note of our contact information in this last closing minute. If there is anything that I didn't cover that you'd like to learn more about when it comes to UNC Chapel Hill, please feel free to reach out to our office. Any one of our admissions counselors would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Up next, we have St. Andrews University.
Hi guys, thanks for joining us. I know you guys have probably been on multiple virtual events. Not going to take up a lot of your time because I know you want to talk to some of the other schools as well. My name is Shannon Valerie. I am one of the admissions counselors or regional admissions counselors with St. Andrews University. Today, I am just going to share just a few things with you about our transfer pool. We do accept from all of your credits from, well, not all of your credits, but we do accept your official transcript from your current school. We do need, they can't come from you. They have to come from the university or the community college where you are. I also need you to make sure that if you're thinking about going into our nursing program or any of our other programs, that for our nursing program, which is a new program for St. Andrews, you have to have at least a B average in order to be able to enter. Right now, there's not a waiting list, but eventually there will be a waiting list for our nursing program. So be sure to make sure that for your science classes that you keep your grades at least a B. I also wanted to let you guys know there is open enrollment right now for even our transfer students. So basically there's no application fee to apply to transfer. We are located in Laurinburg, North Carolina, which is approximately 2 hours from Charlotte and about an hour and a half from Raleigh-Durham. If you guys are interested in learning more information, I will add my information as far as my direct line and email address to the chat. So this is more so, we would love for you to take a visit. You can set up a visit going to sa.edu on campus, and you can learn a little bit more about St. Andrews. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. As a reminder to our participants, if you guys do have questions for any of the institutions, definitely don't hesitate to put those into the Q&A down below. Up next, we have Lenoir-Rhyne University.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Morgan Logan, and I'm one of the enrollment counselors at Lenoir-Rhyne University. I work with our transfer students, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to connect with you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us and all the colleges here as well. Just to give you guys a little bit of information about Lenoir-Rhyne, first and foremost, we are located, our main campus is located, in Hickory, North Carolina. We are about an hour away from Charlotte, about an hour away from Asheville, and about an hour and a half away from Greensboro. We do have 3 different campuses at Lenoir-Rhyne. So we have our main campus in Hickory, North Carolina, which houses our undergraduate studies in addition to some of our graduate programs. We have a graduate program and a graduate center in Asheville, North Carolina. And finally, we have our Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary in Columbia, South Carolina. All in all, between our 3 campuses, we have just over 3,000 students that make up our total student enrollment. Here on our Hickory campus, you'll find that we have just about 2,000 students on our Hickory campus. Our average class size at Lenoir-Rhyne is 17. So we're very much focused on helping students gain that personalized approach to their learning throughout their experience in the classroom. You really have the opportunity to get to know your professors and to work collaboratively with those that you're studying with. Just to give you an idea of what types of majors we have on campus, we do have over 50 undergraduate programs and over 20 graduate programs at Lenoir-Rhyne. But just to give you an idea, some of our top majors on campus are nursing, biology, pre-medical studies, exercise science, business, criminal justice, psychology, and also our education programs. When talking about some different things that you can be involved in outside of the classroom, there are lots of things that you can do on Lenoir-Rhyne's campus. We are Division II athletics at Lenoir-Rhyne, and we have sports like football, basketball, soccer, baseball, and all the other big ones as well. We also have fraternities and sororities on campus, if that's something that you're interested in being a part of. And certainly you can also participate in other activities such as student-led clubs, study abroad, media and arts organizations, in addition to undergraduate research opportunities. Finally, we encourage students to take advantage of our academic support services through our Learning Commons, such as tutoring or our writing center or our speech lab on campus, in addition to our personal support services, such as free mental health counseling for students as well. When you apply to Lenoir-Rhyne, we will need your college transcripts from all of the colleges that you've attended. Additionally, we will need a dean's reference form from the colleges that you've attended as well. And finally, if you have taken less than 30 credit hours at the college that you currently attend, we will also need a copy of your high school transcript. SAT, ACT scores, a resume, an essay, or a letter of recommendation, those are all optional items. So please feel free to submit those if you would like, but it's not absolutely required for you to be considered for admission at Lenoir-Rhyne. Now, when we read an application, in addition to reviewing that application for your admission to the university, we also review that application in light of scholarships. So at Lenoir-Rhyne, we do offer merit scholarships to our transfer students that are accepted to the college. We will base those merit scholarships on your college coursework if you've had over 30 credit hours, and we will look at your high school transcript in addition to that if you've had less than 30 credit hours. In addition to our merit scholarships that we offer, we also offer need-based aid. If you file the FAFSA, you could potentially be eligible for athletic or talent scholarships from sports, music, or our debate team as well. And additionally, we offer Lutheran scholarships through our connection with the ELCA. If you do have any additional questions regarding the different type of financial aid that we offer or the application process, I certainly invite you to consider joining us for a visit. That could be either in person or virtual, or just emailing me. My contact information can be found on the screen, and I'll put it in the chat after I finish the presentation as well. Finally, you guys, we do enroll transfer students for summer, fall, and spring, of course. So when you apply, whichever term you are interested in starting, you'll be able to declare that on your application, and then we'll get you ready to go. Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. I appreciate your time this evening, and I look forward to chatting with you in the future. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Up next, we have Flagler College.
Hi, my name is Emily Cruz. I am the Assistant Director for Transfer Admissions at Flagler College. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get started. So hopefully you can see it. Flagler College is a private, not-for-profit, four-year liberal arts college located in St. Augustine, Florida. So we are pretty much warm all year round. We enjoy the weather here. We have around 2,500 total students. So you really get to know your faculty your staff, your fellow classmates, everybody on campus. You're really a part of the Flagler family. So no matter where you're coming from, you're immediately part of our family. And I think that's a big draw for most of our students. This is just a look at our incoming fall 2020 freshman cohort. Transfer students were also included in here. We typically have 50-50, split down the middle, being from Florida or outside Florida. So we do have quite a few students from the Carolinas. Most of our students do come from the East Coast. So you could potentially, if you're living on campus, have a roommate from your hometown, from Florida, from Hawaii, from Germany. So we do have a diverse population here at Flagler, and we were super excited that our international students were able to join us even amongst what's going on in the world. So they do make up around 8% of our total population at Flagler. And I know I already mentioned 50-50. So if you're not familiar with where we are, we're in St. Augustine, Florida, northeast, in between Jacksonville and Daytona, relatively close to Orlando. Florida is a beautiful state. We have beaches. We're a peninsula, right? We have beaches all around us. So we always encourage our students, while you're here in St. Augustine, the oldest city in the nation, to go and explore other parts of Florida as well on your spring break or on a long weekend. So it's a lot of fun. And we do have some pretty close ties with Disney in terms of internships. Of course, we have many other internships, but I just like to mention Disney. So here's a beautiful picture of the Bridge of Lions, which does connect downtown St. Augustine with our Anastasia Island. And you can see Flagler in the background with those, the beautiful towers. And this picture was actually taken around Christmas time. We are rated one of the top 10 places in the world to come and see Christmas lights, actually. So I encourage everyone to come and visit. There's tons of music and history and culture located in St. Augustine, and Flagler's in the heart of that in the historic district. So you are within walking distance from many restaurants, music venues. We have parades and 5Ks and 10Ks and festivals galore. I mean, you can bring your car if you want to. We have a student parking center that requires an ID, so you will feel very safe. But being here, you may not need it. You can find that you can walk to a lot of places, bike. I do recommend bringing your car if you want to go to the beach, though. It's about 3 to 5 miles, depending on what beach you want to actually go to. So that's something to consider. Going with this overall theme of being part of the Flagler family, we have a student to faculty staff ratio of around 6-to-1. So I'm not kidding when I say you're going to get to know everybody. You're going to say hello to our security guards, to our business services staff. You're going to get to know me and Hanky Hall in admissions and your financial aid counselor. So it's really nice to be able to see those friendly faces on a daily basis. We have tons of majors to choose from. We are a liberal arts college, so popular majors really are business administration, graphics design, coastal environmental science, I'd say psychology, education, just to name a few. You can come in undeclared, it's okay. You can change your major, it's okay. There are also many minors to choose from as well. So take your pick, we are here for you. So the average cost for a first-year student is around $34,310, but as a transfer, you might not be wanting to live on campus, or you could. Either way, it's all right. 90% of our students receive some sort of financial aid, whether it's needs-based, institutional, private, merit. So explore all your options. But if you are living off campus, you're looking at around $20,540 for the year. All transfer students are automatically considered for a merit-based scholarship. So we would take your cumulative GPA from every institution that you've attended and see if you could qualify for one of those merit-based scholarships. Again, apply for that free aid. Add Flagler to your FAFSA. It's important. Even if you think you're not going to qualify, you'd be surprised. So just add us. All right. So our requirements for transfer students are just a little bit different for first years. We do require that you have a cumulative 2.0 GPA in order to be considered academically admissible. You cannot be on any probation or suspension, so in good standing at your current institution. Classes that will transfer must have a C or a 2.0 or higher. But again, our academic profile is much higher than that. We are a test optional school as well. But if you've already completed college level English and math at another institution, you would not need to submit those test scores, okay? If you have less than 24 college credits though, we will need a final high school transcript, in addition to an application, an essay, and all official college transcripts. We do accept applications on a rolling basis, so just make sure to get those in as soon as possible, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about Flagler. Here is my contact information, ecruz@flagler.edu. You can also call me or schedule a virtual visit. And then we are also doing in-person visits to Flagler. You just have to go to our website, click the visit tab, and we have daily experiences Monday through Friday. So I'm here for you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for that presentation. As a final reminder to our attendees, definitely don't hesitate to put any questions into that Q&A down below. Our final institution for this session is Christopher Newport University.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending tonight and taking the time out of your evening to spend a little time with us and learn more about colleges as you're looking to transfer. My name is Chelsea Mullins, and I'm the Assistant Director for Transfer Admission and Enrollment here at Christopher Newport. So our office will be assisting you one-on-one throughout both the admission process as well as the transfer of credit and getting you enrolled in your first semester at CNU. So a little bit about CNU. We are a public liberal arts and sciences university located in Newport News, Virginia. So we are in coastal Virginia. We're close to the beaches. We're on the peninsula and close to the James River. So we're about half an hour from Williamsburg, Virginia, Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Busch Gardens. So some of you may have come up to take a visit there. These are some things I love about CNU. So CNU, I like to say, is the right size. So we have about 5,000 students, and most of those students are undergraduates. So we have about 200 grad students among those 5,000. So we're very undergraduate focused, and being a small public liberal arts and sciences university, you really get that, that public university experience, well, the private university experience at a public university price tag is what I like to say. You know, your faculty will get to know you and know you by name, and you'll have small class sizes that are very interactive. We celebrate a tight-knit community here at CNU. So being a smaller school, you'll get to know your classmates and be able to get involved on campus. I love that we have a speaking tradition on campus where if you pass someone on the sidewalk, we recommend, you know, students will speak to you and say, hello, how are you today? And it's just a very friendly community feeling on campus. We also have great teaching at CNU. So over 90% of our faculty have the highest degree in their field, and we don't have any teaching assistants. So you're going to be taught by the best of the best faculty and in those small classes. And finally, we have a very beautiful campus. CNU has state-of-the-art facilities, and I recommend all of you to come and take a tour of CNU and see our campus in person. If you look at the pictures on the virtual tour online, you'll see that the lawn is always green and the buildings are just always kept very beautifully, and I definitely recommend coming to take a visit. A little bit more about the CNU experience. So a lot of students want to know about academics. You know, we have more than 90 areas of study, and we are undergraduate focused. Undergraduate focused. And with that, we also have lots of students that participate in undergraduate research. And so you're not competing with grad students to get those research opportunities. We have a very involved campus with over 200 clubs and organizations. So we have Greek life as well as academic organizations, student clubs, intramural sports, you name it, we have it. And we are NCAA Division III in athletics. So we have 24 varsity sports, including a sailing team. We are close to the river, so I think that's kind of special that if you're interested in sailing, you can find that here at CNU. We are a highly residential campus, and we have some of the most beautiful residence halls, I think, in the country. And we are values driven. So at CNU, we have an honors code that students are very, hold themselves to the highest degree of honor. And we celebrate leadership, service, and excellence here at CNU. This is a little bit about our application dates. So we do admit transfer students for both the fall and the spring semesters. Our priority date for the fall is March 1st. And even though that has passed, the application's open through July 17th. So there's still time to apply. The application for the spring will open on August 1st, and our priority date for that will be October 1st. So if you're interested in applying for this fall, we recommend applying as soon as possible. We accept both the common application and the coalition application, which are both online. And we will need your official transcripts from all colleges attended, as well as your high school transcript. We recommend having a 3.0 GPA or higher, as well as college level English and math prior to transfer. And if you have more questions about that, I'm happy to schedule a one-on-one meeting with you so that we can help you prepare your application. There are lots of ways to connect with us right now. We are doing both virtual and in-person meetings, so we can schedule a one-on-one virtual meeting or admission interview. We also have general information sessions every Thursday at 11 a.m. that you can register for and learn more about CNU. And this is my contact information, so feel free to reach out to me at our transfer email or phone number. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we're a small office, and we're really excited to speak with you and learn more about your interest in CNU and help you with transfer. So thank you so much.
Thank you to all of the colleges that have presented so far this evening. Up next, I'd like to do a quick round robin Q&A since we do have some time left. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. So the question I'm going to have our college representatives answer is, what advice would you give someone going through the transfer process? We'll go in presentation order. So we'll start with UNC Chapel Hill.
Thank you. Yeah, so the advice that I would give for someone going through the transfer application process is to definitely do your research in terms of why you want to move to another school, and then to share as much of that as possible in the application. I know it looks slightly different than the first year application. I know for most students, they've already gone through a round of applications once, but it doesn't hurt to just provide as much context within the application itself, to do your research in terms to see what it is that you're looking for in the new school that you're looking to join, and to make sure that you're not missing anything just because the process itself may be different than the original one that you already went through. So doing your research, making sure that you're checking off everything that you need to check off, because you don't want to miss on an opportunity on a technicality just because you missed something that you needed for any reason.
St. Andrews University.
My advice would be, and it's funny that you asked that question, because I'm normally, I have someone else that handles the transfer pool, but this is advice for any student. When you're looking into transferring, think about why you're leaving the current school that you're at, but also make sure that you maybe take a visit, if you're able to visit that school, to see if the next school that you're transferring to is going to be a good fit for you. You don't want to be considered someone that when they're looking at your transcript that you've transferred to multiple schools because you're not happy. So I would suggest that take a visit to the school that you're thinking about transfer while you're doing your research. And you should know kind of instantly, maybe not instantly, but if that next school is going to be a fit for you.
Lenoir-Rhyne.
I would suggest setting up a meeting with the transfer enrollment counselor at the school that you're interested in transferring to. Not only is it really helpful for admission offices to have a personal connection with you and to be able to pull interview notes or conversation notes when reviewing your application, but it's also a great opportunity for you to ask questions about the school, about the transfer process, and about transfer credits as well.
Flagler College.
Hi, yeah, I would say familiarize yourself with the website, with the school, take a visit, ask questions, ask them all. It doesn't matter how many you have, just email, text, call. Let us know what you want to know, and we'll tell you all that that we know. So just, I can't stress this enough, just ask your questions.
And Christopher Newport.
So my advice is kind of similar to Morgan's, in that I recommend scheduling a meeting with the transfer counselor at the school that you're interested in, so that you can learn more about it personally, one-on-one, get all of your questions answered, and build that personal connection with someone. We offer one-on-one interviews, so it's a great opportunity to help your application stand out. Even if you're nervous about whether or not you're a competitive applicant, having that interview will boost your application, and like I said, it'll help you stand out. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Thank you all for such the great advice. We do have a little bit more time, so I'll just do one more question, and that is going to be, what is your favorite event or tradition on your campus? And again, we'll start with UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah, so my favorite event on campus happens on the first weekend right before classes start. It's called Fall Fest. So essentially what it is, it's a coordinated effort by the university, a bunch of pretty much all of the different clubs and organizations on campus, as well as several departments on campus, have booths or setups or shut down, on one of the main streets on campus. So they're just all laid out from there. And it's a great way for students who are new to the university or returning to the university to just engage with the different parts of the community, right? So you can really get that full feel of it. You can experience it fully. You can learn more about the different clubs and organizations that are available at Carolina, but you can also reconnect with old friends or meet new people, find a way to, engage with your suite mates or roommates if you're choosing to live on campus. Usually it's like a group outing that folks go to. There's a bunch of free food and free stuff. So, that's always a perk for students as well. But I think it really emulates the Carolina community and just the efforts that the student body goes to put out, all of these opportunities for students and just to engage with each other and kind of have kind of that full ability community within Carolina.
St. Andrews University.
One of the traditions that I find memorable from most of the students would be on the campus, we're surrounded by over 200 acres of lakes. And we have an area that's called the Causeway, where it's divided from student life and academia sides. So once the students graduate, they're allowed, and they don't have to. They have a group of students that actually play windpipes. So that sounds kind of interesting, but they have on kilts, and it's like a beautiful sound crossing over the lake. But basically they cross the causeway to show that they've accomplished a goal by graduating from the university. And it's pretty neat to see them, like where they begin and where they're ending. So that's kind of a traditional thing that St. Andrews, it's a tradition, but it's pretty neat.
Lenoir-Rhyne University.
My favorite tradition at Lenoir-Rhyne is actually our midnight pancake breakfast, which happens every finals week. So it is a great way to de-stress before you take your final exams. It happens every finals week during reading day. Our students that live on campus, our students that live off campus and commute, our students of all different ages come out for this event. We pack the dining hall, and the faculty and staff actually serve the students their pancakes. We also have things like karaoke and bingo and different things, prizes that you can win during the event as well. But it's a great de-stressor during final exam week, and it is just a great fun time for our entire campus community.
Flagler College.
Hey, I have so many favorites, but I'm going to mention our Reach Out, Rise Up Day of Service events where the whole entire college gets together and we help local organizations with their to-do list. So whether it's yard work, cleaning up, painting, anything. But I do have to shout out to, we have Harry Potter week. We are huge Harry Potter fans, so we have an entire week dedicated to that. Sorry, I know it was 2, but I couldn't just choose one.
And Christopher, Newport University.
Yes, I have lots of favorite traditions at Christopher Newport, but one of my favorites is the bell ringing at commencement. Because when our incoming students, our new freshmen and transfer students come in at convocation, when they first get to CNU, they get to ring the bell when they start their time at CNU. And so at commencement, at graduation, after they walk across the stage, they get to go and ring the bell. And it just kind of symbolizes that, that their time here at CNU and time of celebration. So that's my favorite thing.
Wonderful. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback you can give us. And as mentioned earlier, this session was recorded and will be available within about a week at the same site where you registered. Again, thank you for joining us and have a great evening.